Good morning and welcome to Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. I am your host, Margie Curry, and today's session is with certified yoga instructor Becca Impello. Becca has been practicing and teaching yoga for more than 20 years. We want to remind you that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. AARP is committed to offering opportunities for people to stay engaged from your home. The Mindful Movement series provides an opportunity for you to keep moving in the safety of your own home. Becca,
Good morning.
hey, good morning.
Hi, I'm here from my home studio today with you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it makes us feel like we're in a different location today.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
what do you have for us today?
Well, Margie, I realize it's been a while since we did a class focused on balance, and balance,
Oh,
physical balance, just navigating our way through space and having good reactions and resiliency when we're moving around is a really useful thing, especially as we age, right? So I thought we'd do a class today focused on balance.
sounds good. I know I have trouble with balance all the time, so I can definitely uh, understand where you're coming from. All right, then. Remember, everybody, before you start any uh, program, we want you to make sure that you check with your physician to be sure it's safe to participate. We don't want you to get hurt. All right, Becca, let's get started.
Okay, well, yes, and we definitely want everyone to stay safe and to get the maximum amount of benefit from our practices. And with that in mind, what I'm going to tell you is do what seems right for you. I'm going to offer you choices and options. I'm going to recommend, say that you hold on to something like your chair or your wall when we're standing on one foot or whatnot. And you're going to be judging for yourself, what's the best choice? What's the best option for me? It's always okay to skip something if you're not quite sure about it. All right. But usually I'm going to be able to give you a choice that works well for you. So we're, like I said, going to focus on balance. We'll actually do a balance or thing or two in the chair. We're going to start with some warming up, just getting our body moving and loose, and then we'll do a good bit of it standing. We'll use our chair as our main prop. It's a great resource for stability, for holding on when you need a little help with balance and that sort of thing. So let's sit tall, get those feet on the floor. Take a moment to just lift up to the crown of your head, just feeling your spine rise up, right? Feel the chair underneath your hips. Feel the floor underneath your feet. And let's take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to use some arm movements too if you want to. So we're going to inhale and sweep those arms out and up. Exhale and press the palms down right in front of us towards the lap or towards the floor between our feet. All right. So inhale through the nose if you can. Exhale through the mouth. Slow breath out as you push those hands down in front of you. Inhale. Think about sort of gathering up your awareness, your attention, your energy. Exhale, concentrating, pulling it all together right in your center, right? So they can work for you. And taking, of course, these big, deep breaths is really beneficial for us in all kinds of ways. Let's do 3 more of these big breaths. One more. Pause here. Let those hands just rest in your lap. Let's start warming up the body with some head and neck movements. Turn the head to one shoulder, one side, and then drop the chin down and roll it slowly across into that other shoulder. And then bring it forward again. We're going to do semicircles or half rolls forward from collarbone to collarbone across the chest. You can roll that here sort of up onto the shoulder if that feels comfortable. Maybe that chin comes really close to the breastbone. Maybe it doesn't. You're going to make the movement that feels right for you. If you're feeling a little bit of tightness or stretch, that's usually okay. That's a good thing to loosen up those muscles. If you feel anything that's painful anytime throughout the practice, that's something I want you to avoid. I want you to stop doing anything that creates pain. All right, one more time, bringing it back to center. Pick the head up. Roll the shoulders now. Let's just bring those shoulders forward and up towards the ears, and then back and down towards the waist. You might take a nice deep breath in as you bring the shoulders up. Exhale as you roll them back. Get about 3 more. 2. And 1 more. We already gotten our arms a little bit warmed up by doing our breath work. So let's keep on going down the body towards the spine. So hands at the heart here. We're going to pull back and sort of arch the back a little bit. Puff the chest forward and up, and then push forward and get a little more rounded. You can even drop your chin towards your chest. So inhale, pull. Lift, look up maybe. Exhale, push, round, look down. Now you can make this movement bigger or smaller depending on what's comfortable in your spine. I'm starting to rock a little bit on my hips as well, rolling forward on my pelvis, rolling back onto my buttocks. So back and forth with as much of the spine as feels right for you. Let's do 3 more. Still making those nice big breaths. All right, good. Let those arms drop down. Let's move on down to the hips and the legs and get them a little bit warmed up. We're going to start with just some marching, just so we start to wake up the muscles around the hips. Now, as you march, try and stay sitting up nice and tall. You can even hold on to the sides of your chair if you want. If you're ready for a little more challenge, hold your arms out and up to the sides as you march so that your core has to do a little bit more of the work here. Either option is good. The best option is the one that works the best for you, that meets you where you are, right? Good. Let's do 4 more of these marches. Last 2. Good. And then drop the arms if you had them up. Take the feet out a little wider, and let's just open and close the knees so that we get, again, a little mobilization going of those hip joints. So squeeze the knees towards one another. Maybe they touch. Open the knees out so that we're just going back and forth, getting the inner and outer thigh and hip muscles woken up this morning. All right. Now we'll move on down to the knees and the ankles. Let's take one leg, bend and straighten at that knee. Again, you could hold on for a little more support. You can take the arms out or up for a little more challenge. And you're bending and straightening that knee slowly so that you're in good control of the muscle action the whole time. All right, let's just go ahead and switch it right over to the other leg. Bend and straighten. You want to pull back, kick, push forward. Good. Checking in as we move through the body. Hopefully you're noticing how your body feels, how your joints are doing this morning. All right, both feet down. Let's pick up the feet so you're up on your heels. And then lift up the heels until you're on sort of your pointed toes. Up and down. And you can certainly do these practices with shoes on or with shoes off. So I'm doing them with shoes off as I usually do. That can help give you a little more, movement of your feet. But I know that some of us really need to keep our feet, our toes supported and protected in our footwear. So if you've got your shoes on, that's perfectly fine. It'll give you a little more stability, which might be nice for our balance work. All right. Now let's pick up one foot and take a few circles of the ankle. We're going to spend a little extra time with these feet Because, go the other way with your circle, because we're going to really rely on our foot muscles and our sense, our awareness of our feet and toes and ankles when we do our balance work, right? So if we can do switch legs now, circle that other foot and ankle. So when we bring a little more awareness to them and we wake them up a little bit more, it will help to give us more resources and more challenging our balance. Go the other way if you haven't switched. Good, and then take that foot down. All right, so one more thing for the feet here, and then we'll do some stuff with the feet when we get in standing. I want you to lift up again, both sets of toes and the balls of the feet up. And I want you to see if you can swivel your feet in and out. Notice that I'm not moving my knees, so it's not an open and close like we did a moment ago. It's just the feet and the lower legs. Your shins may fatigue with this one, so if you need to stop and take a break, it's always okay to do that. Good. All right. Now, let's do one little balance thing here in the chair, and then we're going to transition up to standing. So for this one, you're going to scoot, sitting kind of close to the front edge of the chair, lean back just a little bit. Okay, so I've still got a straight spine, but I'm leaning back, and I'm going to try and pick up both of my feet. Just see if I can balance on my buttocks. This works us through the belly, through the hips. You can hold on if you need to, or you can challenge yourself like before with the arms up. And we're just holding here. You can drop the feet whenever you get fatigued or need to take a break. All right, and then drop the feet, drop the hands, just sit tall for a moment. One of the options I'm going to be giving you throughout this practice on the balance is to do different things if it's appropriate with your vision, right? That might mean turning your head or just looking around, or sometimes it's an option to close your eyes. So let's try one of those here. So let's come back to our lean back, pick the feet up, and I want you just to see, can you turn your head? Or even just your eyes, can they go sort of side to side? Maybe look up and down. Now look straight ahead, maybe close the eyes. And then down. That's going to be more of a challenge when we do the eye movements and the head movements when we're standing on our feet than it was for that one. But it gives you a taste of it. All right, let's stand up. All right, now we're going to start our first couple of balance challenges from using the chair as a platform for our hands, right? So make sure your chair is sturdy. It's not going to slide or slip when you put your hands on it. And we're just going to bend down and place those hands in the seat of the chair. I realize my chair is the same color as my background, so I apologize if that makes it difficult to see. I've got this white folding chair and this white screen behind me. All right, so we're sitting, we're getting here in this standing position with our hands in the chair, our feet on the floor underneath the hips. And let's go ahead and just loosen up the spine a little bit more, since this is a really good position for moving the spine, rounding it, and then flattening or arching, going back and forth a couple times. All right, now bring the feet close together. You can have as much bend in your knees as you need to, okay? And we're gonna take one leg back behind. Now, you can keep this toe lightly touching the floor for a little more support. You can lift that leg up a little bit. You can lift it all the way up. Watch out for my door. You gotta lift it all. You can lift it all the way up if you want. And then we're gonna try to add the opposite arm and lift it. Now, another option is to put it on the top of the chair, or take it all the way off the chair for a little more challenge. Now, if you feel like you're fairly steady here, try closing your eyes. All right, bring that hand down, bring that foot down. Let's switch to the other leg. Remember, you could have it back here touching. You could lift it a little. You could lift it all the way up to the hip height. Add that opposite arm lift, or maybe rest it on the back of the chair. Option to close your eyes if you feel like you can take a little more challenge to the balance. Good. And bring it on down. Now let's just take a little stretch break. Walk the feet further back. Extend out long through the arms and the spine as you just sort of push back with the hips. You can bend those knees if you want. Maybe do a little shifting side to side, bending one knee and then the other, back and forth. Good. All right, now walk it back into where we were. We're going to do that same one again, but we're going to make it a little more dynamic. So let's take the right foot back behind, left arm out in front, and let's lift and lower. Lift and lower. You can touch something, or you can sort of lift without ever landing. Lift and lower without ever touching anything for a little more challenge. And again, eyes closed is an option. 3 more on this side. All right, and then we'll switch. Take the other leg back behind, reach forward with the opposite arm, and try lifting and lowering. Remember, you can touch the ground in the chair, or you can try not touching, just lifting and lowering through space. Good. 3 more, maybe close the eyes. All right, good. Let's take that downward dog stretch one more time before we change positions. Stretch back with the hips, soften those knees, maybe give it a little wiggle. All right, and then let's walk it in and stand all the way up tall. All right, so we're going to turn the chair around so that we can continue to use it for a little bit of support when we need it for our balance challenges. All right, so let's start with this first one, lightly touching the chair with the fingertips as needed, and we'll do a little bit more for those feet. So come up onto the balls of your feet or your tiptoes, and then down and try to rock back on your heels, lifting the fronts of the feet. Rise up, drop down, rock back. That rocking back is kind of a tricky one. Now you could try letting go as you do this. You can keep those hands just kind of close to your support so you can touch as needed. Now, this is one that I don't want to close my eyes on. If you feel like you're pretty steady with it, you could try it. But something I might do is look up and look down just to change my gaze a little bit. It does challenge me a little bit more to do that. One more. Good. Now, stand on one foot, pick up the other, and make a couple of circles with that lifted foot and ankle. Really bring your awareness into that foot. Can you feel it circling around? Can you feel the ankle? Are there any pops and creaks? Is there tightness? Go the other direction if you haven't switched yet. Good. And then switch feet. Put your awareness in that foot and ankle that you're circling. Feel that ankle, feel the arch of the foot, feel the toes. Go the other way. All right, now let's do just a basic standing on one foot challenge. All right, so go ahead and pick up one foot. Focus on the leg that's standing. Focus on that foot that's on the floor. Can you feel that foot? Can you imagine that it's spreading out and kind of beginning to grip the floor? All right, you can try and let go, but it's also okay to keep a fingertip touching the whole time. See what happens if you turn your head right and left. How about up and down with the head? It's okay to touch and still make the head movements. You don't have to master one before adding the next. All right, now let's switch it out. That leg gets tired, the foot you're standing on, right? So switch to the other leg. Put your awareness in that foot for a few moments. Can you feel it spreading out? Can you grip the ground? All the way up into your hip. Are you strong and pulling in a little bit with the buttock? All right, you're touching as needed. Turning the head right and left. Up and down. Good, all right, and come back to both feet on the floor, and let's take a little stretch. Stretch back with one leg, so step in one leg nice and far back, pushing that heel towards the ground or into the ground, front knee bends, all right? And you just keep a hold of the chair here. You might even lean a little bit further forward. As I lean a little bit more forward with my torso, I get a little more stretch in that back calf. All right, and then bring it back up. Let's switch legs, stepping back with that other foot to get a little stretch through the calf on this side. Front knee is bent, leaning a little more forward possibly. All right, and then coming on back in. Now our next position, we're going to keep both feet on the floor, but we're going to try to stand in what's called tandem stance. This is where we put one foot in front of the other. Now you go as close to that stance as you can, right? So if it's not great to try to put your feet in front of one another, you know, maybe it just doesn't work for your hips or your knees. You just go as close as you can to standing on a tightrope. And you bring your feet as close together, heel to toe, if you can. All right. And then we just, again, experiment with letting go, with turning the head. Turn the head side to side like I've been doing. You can also then go up and down. But another thing that's a different challenge is to bring your gaze sort of in a circle. Sort of look all the way around the room as if you're scanning, trying to find something. Go the other direction. Remember, you could have a fingertip or two touching and still be doing these other additional movements. All right, let's bring the head still. Let's try maybe closing the eyes here. If that's a challenge that doesn't seem appropriate for you, then don't do it. You can just hold steady with the eyes open or continue with those gaze changes. Now, the reason I give you all these options is one, we're all different. We have a different ability to balance. Let's go ahead and come out of that one and stand just a moment with the feet apart. In order to really be stimulating our brain and our body to make improvements, then we have to give ourselves something that is going to throw us off balance. So if we're able to, if we only do the things that we can hold really steady, then we're not really challenging the system to get better. So we want to have some wobble. We want to sort of, quote unquote, kind of lose our balance, not fall, but lose our balance a little bit and have to regain it. All right, let's do tandem stance with the other foot forward. All right, so come in as close to the same line and as close together as you can manage. And just testing out, what's your balance like in this position if you try and let go? If it's appropriate to add more challenge to this situation, turn the head. Maybe up and down. Maybe turn that gaze through more of a circle. Look around the room. Even try to maybe look behind you. That one really throws off the balance for me, so I keep a hand close to the chair when I turn to look behind. All right, and then let's try maybe the closing of the eyes. Notice that when my eyes close, my feet get a lot more movement. They wobble back and forth. They're trying to turn on more muscle action to keep me balanced. That's what we want. We want to train those muscles to respond. All right, open the eyes, take it out, shake out those legs. All right, now our next one is going to be a little more dynamic and perhaps a little more functional. Well, we might not think of standing on a tightrope as something that we encounter. We are often walking in such a way that our feet might cross one another, so it's good to have good balance with that. What we're going to do here is bend down like we were picking something up. So I've got my weight on my left foot, and my right foot is just back behind. I'm going to hold on to the chair for this one, and I recommend that you do too, right? So I'm going to hold on to this chair, and I'm just going to bend forward as far as I can. You don't have to touch the floor. There's actually nothing there to pick up, right? And then come back up, right? So I'm just getting practice bearing weight on one leg, bending forward, taking my gaze and my hand down towards the floor, and then coming back up. After you do a couple, then you'll know whether it feels right to let go or not touch that chair quite so heavily. 3 more on this one leg. This is also strengthening. You may notice that your leg, are getting a little tired. When we stand and bear our weight on them with these balance exercises, we are definitely calling on a lot of muscles to work for us. Last one. All right, and we're switching sides. So take the other foot forward. Get that other leg just back behind you. And then we're coming down and back up. You bend over as far as feels right for you. You may have something in your hamstring or your back that makes it, tight to bend all the way down. So even if you're making a small shift forward, that's still putting some dynamic challenge into that standing leg. Maybe you can hold on less or not at all. 1 for 3 more. One more. All right, good. Come back up to standing tall. All right, now let's work on one that's got both feet on the floor again. We're going to stand with our feet as close together as we can, right? So I'm bringing my legs together, knees together, feet together. So as close together as you can get those feet. You can have that hand close or touching the chair. This might be a good one for you to experiment with those head movements. This maybe is more stable than the tandem stance or the one-legged stance. All right, up and down. If you feel like, okay, this is pretty easy, I can move my head around, no problem, close your eyes. Close your eyes and move your head around. If you still feel pretty steady, raise the arms as you move the head around or as you close the eyes. All right, and bring those hands together at the heart. Open your eyes. We're going to finish with everybody's favorite balance pose from yoga, or at least it's one of the more well-known poses from classic or traditional yoga postures, tree pose, right? So you can keep your hands at your heart, or you can take one hand down and hold on to your chair. Shift your weight into one leg. Find that foot. Remember, awareness of the foot and ankle may help with your balance. Pick up the other foot, the heel at least, and turn the knee out to the side. This is the shape that we're going for in tree pose. Now you can pick that foot up and bring it onto the inside of your calf or right at the inside of your ankle or even a little higher if you want. All right. And then firm up that standing leg, get taller. Maybe bring your hands to your hearts. Other options are to take those arms out and overhead. Remember, you're finding the right balance challenge for you. So if you're steady, wherever it is that you are, even if that means one hand is on the chair, you do still have that option to turn your head or to close your eyes. So I'm going to let you choose what you want to do. Closing my eyes here is definitely a big challenge, and I might fall out, drop my leg to regain my balance now and then. All right, let's switch sides. That standing leg's getting a little tired. Shake it out. Let's stand on that other leg. Pick up the knee. Pick up the foot so that the knee can turn out. Find that placement, to put that foot on your other leg. Stand tall, hug in with those hips. And remember, if balance is a real challenge, you're keeping your gaze focused on one spot. So if trying to stand on one leg is real wobbly for you, then you keep your gaze fixed. If it's not so bad, then maybe you experiment with turning the head. Remember those options for the arms as well, maybe reaching them up and out. It's okay to need to drop that hand and hold on to the chair, or need to drop that foot and touch the ground. Remember, we're looking to improve our balance, so we want to really stimulate and challenge it. All right, release. Okay, let's finish up by sitting back down for a moment. So come back to sitting in your chair. I want to stretch out those hips a bit. So you can pull one leg up and cross it, maybe on the knee or the thigh. Maybe pick it up and cross it on the shin or the ankle. All right. And then sit up nice and tall and lean in just a little bit, or simply rock back and forth. We're looking for some stretch in the outer hip. Good, 1 or 2 more breaths here with this stretch. Good, and then let's release it and take it to the other side. Sit up tall, lean forward. If balance improvement is something that you would really like to work on, sneaking in a few little balance challenges like we did here, just a minute or 2 or 5 minutes at a time, is a really great thing. You can do it at your bathroom counter or your kitchen counter, so you have somewhere to hold on as needed. And you can do any of those positions. Stand on one leg for a few breaths, stand with the feet one in front of the other, stand with the feet close together. Those are all great ways to challenge yourself. You can, do those gaze changes or closing the eyes or movements of the arms as you take that position. All right, let's uncross. Let's finish with a couple of those deep breaths like we started. Sit tall, feet on the floor. Inhale through the nose, sweep the arms up. Exhale through the mouth. Press the hands down to the lap. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. And then bring the hands together, palms together at the heart. Bow the head. Take just a moment for gratitude. Thanks to your body, your balance, your function that gets you through every day. And thanks to AARP of Alabama for giving us these opportunities for mindful movement together. We hope you'll join us again every Tuesday, 10 a.m.
Thank you, Becca. That was great today. And I look forward to taking this session again so that I can work more on my balance. I appreciate everybody looking in, watching for us today. And don't forget to join us every Tuesday morning with AARP Alabama for Mindful Movement. Goodbye and have a great week.
Bye, Margie.